Good afternoon from the second age of reason. We are here to have a few closing words about the Wisconsin recall election. Voter remorse. Well, it worked in France, but not here. So I thought I'd bring a few things up in passing, just as closing statements, because after looking at it, I'd like to give you all a post-mortem. And so there was an awful lot of people turning out for it. Usually when I go to the polling place, I'm voter number 9. This time, going there at the same time, I was voter number 77. So the turnout was good. The difference was also in the money. The Democrat had around $3 million, and the Republican had about $30 million. And some say that money doesn't really help. Well, I don't know. It just seems like maybe, well, you have either or. Either the money helps you buy an election. Yes. The money either helps you buy the election, or the Republican got so much money, and he is so inept that he couldn't hang on to it, and so for getting 88% of the money used in the election, he only got 55% of the vote. A fool and his money are soon parted. Is that the governor and his money, or is that the governor donors and their money? Not sure. So some had said there may have been problems at the polling places because they had made an ID law which was struck down, but some people didn't know it, so they sent people away, but they tried to get them back. Pretty confusing. But there was also a law about students, that they would have to have 28 days of residence. Well, if the students get back at the end of May, and the election day is the 5th of June, well, that kind of cuts out thousands of voters right there. Very convenient. So, it was impressive, though, that they had over 1 million signatures on the petition for the recall election, but it didn't seem to be enough. And the other thing is the distribution of votes county by county. I think that was interesting. I'm going to put a link below to an interactive map. You can move your cursor over the different counties and see what the votes were and percentage-wise. And I'm going to just bring a few counties up for mention. Milwaukee County. That's where Scott Walker was the county executive for a number of years. He only got 30% of the vote there. Wonder why. Then Madison, where he now resides as governor, he only got like about 40% of the vote there. Then there was Menominee, which I think is where the Indian reservation is. Well, Walker only got about 10% of that. But I think what's also interesting is Racine. Now, Racine is kind of a Rust Belt sort of city, and I would have thought it would be more Democrat, but the governor took like 55 or 60% of Racine, which is interesting because they also had a recall on their state senator, and Republican was replaced by a Democrat. So why would they re-elect the governor and de-elect the senator? I don't quite see how that fits. But it is also worth noting that the state senate has adjourned for the season, and by the time they return, it'll be election time again. So maybe it'll be a short-lived victory. Also worth noting is that they redrew all of the districts or counties or whatever it is. I think that's what they call it, district gerrymandering. So that might not even be an issue either, because it made it easier for more Republicans to hold on to their positions. So look, that's kind of an interesting posit right there. It seems to me, though, that by use of money, they want to defund the Democrats and their interests. And then what is the goal? What do you think the goal is? The goal is to have one party. We're going to go from a two-party, one-party system to be a one-party system. That would be so ideal. They wouldn't have to debate anything. They would just pass every law that they wanted. And, do you want a one-party system? Think about it. And think about how the parties are treating each other. Finally, I want to mention one other place where the election was interesting, was Portage. Portage, Wisconsin is famous as the place where the Republican Party was invented. A little bit before Abraham Lincoln's time, about at that time. It was invented in Portage, Wisconsin. And they rejected the Republican governor. Just an interesting note in passing. So, what other things are worth noting here? One other thing I think is worth mentioning is the source of a candidate's funds. That it should be known that most of Governor Walker's funding came from out of the state. And I don't know why that would be allowed, because people outside the state don't have any votes in the state in this election, so it just seems to be kind of inappropriate. So I think they should have the election funding come from sources that are within the areas that you are running for office in a city within a city, in a county within a county, in a state within a state, and in a nation within the nation. I think that's the way it should be. And if you're a congressman, perhaps in just the areas that you cover. So I think that's the trouble. A lot of it is money in the election system. That's pretty much it. So we now have to wait and see what happens for the presidential elections, which are coming up. If money is a factor, that seems to be like whoever gets the most money is the winner. The Citizens United thing basically said that money is free speech. And I contend that actually money is more like censorship. Because the person with money can buy all the media they want, basically shutting out those that don't have the money. Censorship. And the Supreme Court said, well, that won't really adversely affect the citizens' view of voting. But I think it has. I mean, I know citizens who've told me that they don't care to vote because they know it's all rigged. So the voting system, by means of these bought elections, has lost a lot of credence, credibility, and so has the Supreme Court and a lot of their recent rulings. So that's about all I have for now. So, until later, we'll be seeing you.